What's going on, guys? We're Legend TV here, back with another video. Guys, today we're talking about prepping mistakes and primarily one overlooked item, I guess class of items, that people don't really, I don't think about much at all. But guys, before we get into it, I want to say thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks to everybody who's been watching my videos. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like the content that we're putting down, go check out some of my other videos. Then hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so when you know I post a video. Guys, really appreciate all the love and support and even the hate that I get on this channel. It's always a good time just seeing what y'all are saying. I want your input on this. Is this something that y'all are prepping for or prepping with? Is this something that y'all are stashing away, swirling away? Do you have, some laying around? Do you have a lot laying around? Guys, let me know in the comment section down below. Let's dive right into it, guys. Everybody who's prepping out there, and I know some of y'all out there are watching this, are going to either be in two camps. You're going to hear me say what I'm talking about, and you're going to call me a fucking idiot. That's fine. And then you'll have your reasons for that, and that's fine. Or two, you're going to hear me say it, and you're going to be like, damn, he's right. Okay. Everybody hoards, collects, stashes away ammo, right? Everybody's got a fuck ton of ammo sitting around. We have 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 rounds, all right? You have the ammos. You have the guns, right? So you have all these items, but maybe you know that you're going to set up on your farm or your land, your house, and you've got some equipment, you got some tools, you got some plows and some discs and everything. You're going to grow food. Excellent. You got seeds. You got 100 years worth of seeds swirled away, and you know that you can keep some of that seed too. When you harvest, you can do like people used to do back 10,000 years ago. Grow a little bit, keep a little bit. So that's what you're going to do. But now, there's something that you might not have considered. Have you considered fertilizer? Yeah, fertilizer. Nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, NPK, the essential elements that plants need and that we need to sustain our very existence. Do you have fertilizer? Right? So now if you're in camp one, the camp I was talking about earlier, you just heard me say fertilizer, and you're like, dude, Bandit, what are you talking about, man? Fertilizer's everywhere. It's in my dog's shit. It's in my shit. It's recycled all around. Nature recycles everything, right? I don't need to buy fertilizer. I don't need to stock up on fertilizer. I'm just going to fertilize my garden with shit. Well, that's great. Maybe you can. There's quite a lot of issues that come with that. For example, manure has a lot of salts. And I'm not just talking about sodium, sodium chloride. I'm not talking about sodium chloride. It can have a lot of sodium in it, but it can have a lot of salts, dissolved salts. And for certain regions of the country, that can be very problematic for plant growth. If you understand anything about water movement and water uptake and nutrient movement of plants, salts can really impact where water goes. And so you could have horrible yield loss and, quite frankly, completely lose crops if you have too much dissolved salts in your soils. So that just about takes relying on manure out of the question. Not to mention that in order to get the manure, you have to feed the animals, okay? So now you're feeding animals, say, the stover or the chaff from your, grown crop that you're putting back in. Now you're removing more from this cycle, right? You're moving more from the cycle with no extra inputs going into it, eventually depleting your fertilizer reserves, right? So you got to have fertilizer from some other place. And talking about human shit, fertilizing the human shit, that's just a whole another spectrum of disease. And, you're going to have E. coli and cholera, who knows? I mean, all kinds of dysentery, bad shit happen to you if you're going to rely on fertilizing your food supply with your shit. So please don't plan on that, for real. Especially for folks, if you have a lot of these new varieties, these new seeds, these varieties that we grow today, they require a lot of inputs. And I know this is going to get somebody started on big agriculture, and don't even start on farmers. All right, you're looking at one, you're talking to one. Don't even say that we're poisoning the world and trying to destroy the world. No, we're fucking out here trying to feed the world. Don't start on that. All right, soapbox over. Jumping back to what we were talking about, fertilizers. So while you could essentially for a short period of time sustain yourself off of manure and compost, it's not really sustainable. It's not really going to continue to provide the yields that you were hoped for. Now, of course, you can plant legumes and pick up some nitrogen there, but potash or potassium, the very important crop. And then you get to your secondary nutrients, your magnesium and your calciums and your sulfurs. Very important for both soil health and plant health, right? You get into compaction issues if you have not enough calcium, high sulfur content or low sulfur content can be a indicator of soil health through drainage. And then you get into the micronutrients, your coppers, your manganese, your boron, right? So all these different nutrients that we don't often think about. And if you're not in agriculture and you don't actively grow high yielding crops or even a high yielding garden, you may not understand fertilizers and the benefits that fertilizers have. So now, talking to the folks who are in Camp 2, do you have fertilizer stashed away? Are you, besides your 100-year stash of seeds, do you have a couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand pounds of granular fertilizer stashed away? And there can be some handling issues with fertilizers. If it gets wet, you can get it kind of blocked up and it can stick together and it can be, kind of cumbersome. But, are you putting $50, $100 a month or maybe a year into buying some fertilizer for when the shit hits the fan? Let me know in the comment section down below, because let's be real here, guys. Everybody's willing to go drop $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 on thousands of rounds of ammo and food and medical equipment and this, that, and the other. But are we actively prepping for sustaining ourselves, a family, a community, perhaps, effectively? Fertilizer is a key to our lives, and maybe it's something that now you need to start considering. Start considering, buying a 50-pound bag of 10-10-10 or 24-10-17, whatever. I'm not saying you need to go down to your local farm supply or fertilizer retailer and have them drop off a 4-ton load of custom mixed fertilizer. I'm not telling you to do that, but maybe you do buy some bags of fertilizer and you stash them away, or maybe you squirrel away some buckets of fertilizer, something that can be sealed, stacked, and squirreled away into the corner. Maybe this is something we need to start considering, guys. I really hadn't considered it, but naturally I have a bunch of fertilizer. Just as a farmer, I have a lot of fertilizer. So, guys, let me know in the comment section down below. You gonna start buying fertilizer now? Maybe cut back on the ammonium nitrate. We're probably all already on watch lists. Let's not add to it, guys. Pick you up some 10-10-10. Throw it in the corner. Throw it in a bucket, and squirrel that away in case you ever need it to keep those tomatoes and that corn and peppers and beans and all that other stuff. Let's think about all aspects of our prepping operation. Something to really consider, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you going to start doing it, or have you been doing it? Please don't argue with me about agriculture. Don't get me started on farmers. I am a trained agronomist, and I have 2 degrees that says you're wrong and I'm right. So please leave that for another time. Guys, I really appreciate you watching. Hopefully you got some good information out of this and maybe considered a little bit of change to your prep and practice. Guys, really appreciate it. Y'all know the deal. Stay on, stay safe, keep your heads on a swivel. Prepared Ep.1. Y'all be good. We'll see you in the next one.